Man, I think I lost my daughter's backpack. I hope it's in the truck. I can't see it. Can you see it? Hey, you know what we need? We need some lights. Check these out. There you go. There's the backpack. Now we have it. Hey, follow me and I'll show you how it's done. Hey everyone, thanks for coming back. This is Fred from Fred's Garage. And what we're going to do today is we're going to wire some LED lights in the back of the Maverick, okay? What I'm going to show you today will work on any truck. You just have to figure out where to get your power from and where to place your switch, okay? On the previous video, you saw that we put in this beautiful power panel right here. And when we place this power panel, we place 2 extra switches. This one works the power, and this one is for today's project to work the lights. When it comes to lights, there's hundreds of options for you to choose from. You can put lights anywhere you want. You can put as many lights as you want. And the hardest part, honestly, is just figuring out what lights you want to use because there's so many options. I know that I want waterproof lights, okay, or as waterproof as possible. And I want them to be LEDs, and I don't want to have to deal with them ever again, okay? A great option for you and a real easy one if you want to just go easy is to put a light right there. That's perfect. That would light up this whole section depending on how powerful the light is. You can get a real powerful light, like the kinds that come with the Mavericks when they have the power port there. What I'm going to do is put lights underneath the rail, go across the front and down that way there, okay? And I have this roll-up tonneau cover, which there's a video for that. This is a great tonneau cover. It's all aluminum. And I'm going to feed the wires and the lights underneath the seal. If I didn't have the tonneau cover, I would probably run 2 sets of lights and then run the wire down and across the bed. But since the tonneau cover has a big seal, and if this tonneau cover ever goes, I'm going to replace it with another one. So I'm not worried about that. We'll talk about the lights that I chose in a moment, but let's talk about switch placement. So let's talk about switch placement. As you can tell, my switch is going to be right here, okay? But say you don't want to drill a hole in that or cut that open. Or say you have the power port and you really don't want to add anything to it. You can just get a standalone switch, which is a small little hole, about a 1/2 inch hole, and you can place this in here. But if you don't want to do that, this is where I would place it. Take a look right here. Let's get in close. To me, this is a perfect little location for this switch. If you just want to have lights in a switch, you're going to be using this power supply anyways, okay? Because that's what you're going to hook your harness to power the lights. So what I would do is I would cut this plug off the back, drill a hole right there, and I would place this little switch right in here. This little switch, if you can see it, is very recessed. So you don't really have to worry about smashing it or breaking it. And I would put that switch right there. That's just an option. It's up to you where you want to put it. We have this one, and that's the one we're going to use. My hardest decision on this whole project was, what lights should I use? I found this company on Amazon. It's called Nye Lights, and they have hundreds of different lighting options from outside and inside. And this isn't sponsored or anything like that. These are just the lights I found because they're waterproof and they're going to work for my application. So here are the lights. There's 2 sets of 4 lights. They have connectors, so you can make them as long and as short as you want, and they have 12 feet of cable, which is a lot of cable. And if I had a shell, these lights would be perfect right up here on the shell to light up the inside of the shell. But in my case, they're going to be perfect right here, okay? I'll place a link in my description for these lights if you want to go with these, but we'll see how they work out. What I really like about these lights is that there's 4 of them, and you can easily pop them off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one off of each side, run the two strands together, and I only have to run one wire to my switch from here down, which is going to make it so easy. I was originally thinking of going down that and across. I've seen some people do that, but this is a hybrid. I don't know if the EcoBoosts have it, but there's a big plastic crate on the bottom, and I don't want to deal with it. And this way here, all the wiring will be tucked in underneath here. And I don't have to have wires underneath the truck, okay? So let me show you. We unplugged that one. Alrighty, so on this set of 4, I am going to unplug the furthest away from the wires. The furthest away from the wiring, okay? So this is basically the first light. We're going to, and it only unplugs by pushing this little tab, and she'll unplug. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the other set. And on the other set of 8, I am going to unplug the last light, the closest to the wire. And we're just going to do the same thing and unplug it. And now I'm going to plug the 2 of these, the first and the second set, together. And now I have a set of 6 lights. And that's what I'm going to use. And the best part about this is now I have 2 extra lights. And these 2 extra lights I can use somewhere else. Or I could add this light, I might add right here for an extra light. But I have 2 other options for whatever I need. And if you want all 8 and you want to run them down and across, feel free to do that. I'm not going to do that. All right, let's get started. All right, so hopefully you can see the layout. The wire here is going to go to the switch. I'm going to have 2 lights on the bed rail, 2 lights on the front of the bed, and then 2 more lights on the other bed rail. So I only have to run this one wire down here to the switch. Alrighty, so for 2-way tape to be successful, what you're going to need is some isopropyl alcohol. A couple of bucks. And a tissue, because I have to clean down the bed. I want to make sure there's no wax, no grease, no dirt, anything on that bed. If I want to have any chance of having that 2-way tape stick and stay there for a while, okay? So I'm going to go underneath real quick, and we're going to wipe this down, and I'll show you. Let's take a look at this rail and what it looks like underneath, because that's where the lights are going to go, underneath this rail, okay? Okay, let's take a good look at the bottom of this rail. You'll see that the blue part is the bottom of the truck panel, and then these black things right here is what keeps the plastic secure to the top of the truck. These are going to come in very handy because we're going to take a wire tie and we're going to stick it right inside that hole, and that's going to help hold our wire. Okay, so they're going to swing down and they're going to hook like this and just help hold the wire out of the way. Okay, and the lights are going to stick. Each one of these lights are going to be placed basically on the metal part right there. Each one of these lights are going to be placed on the metal part right here. And then the wires are just going to run down the rail and get secured. Very clean and easy installation. The other end of this wire is going to be fed through this hole right here. Alrighty, so hopefully that was easy to follow. I know it's difficult for you, and we're going to see it even better. But what we're going to do first is, because this wire is going to run through the bed, and it's not going to run through a grommet, I want to protect the wire. I don't want the wire to be sitting up against the metal of the bed and moving, because eventually it's going to cut its way through. So I just have a little piece of wire protector, okay? It's a little sleeve. You don't have to really buy this. You can use whatever you have around the house. If you have an old piece, a little small piece of tubing, piece of rubber hose, or whatever you have, or you can just wrap it several times with the electrical tape. So I'm going to place my wire through this tubing. And if I was going a long place outside or anywhere, I would have a whole bunch of this protective tubing. But I'm going to place it in here. And I'm just going to leave it there for now. And I'm just going to leave it there for now. So when I need it, it'll already be in the wire, okay? So let's go underneath and take a look at what that looks like.
All right, so first thing I want to do is figure out where I want to put my light. So since the entrance hole is going to be here, I want my first light to be right behind this first pin. Okay, so there's the entrance hole going down to the switch panel. Here's the first pin, and I'm going to put my light right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to alcohol that rail because that's where I'm going to put my light. Okay, and then I'm just going to clean every spot where I'm going to put a light. You don't have to watch me do that, but that's what you're going to want to do. Okay. And then here's my first light. Okay, here's the first light. We're going to peel the tape in the back. We're going to peel the tape in the back. And we're going to feed that up. And I'm going to put that right up there. And I'm going to hold it for a minute. And there's my first light. Now, and I'm going to see that the hole's right there. So I'm going to tape this right here. So I'm going to grab my electrical tape. I'm going to grab this. And I'm going to put it right where it is. So now when the wire goes in there, it's going to be protected, okay? So I'm going to take this electrical tape and I'm going to wrap it around and protect this wire. And I'm just going to wrap it down into the wire, and then I'm going to wrap it an inch or so up on the protector, okay? And I'm going to do that to both sides. In this way here, that's going to protect my wire when it goes through the bed. All right, so my piece of conduit, piece of tubing, whatever you have is connected right here. So that's going to protect my wire as I feed it through. We're going to do the wiring last. So what I'm going to do is finish running the lights. So come with me and let's do that.
Alrighty, so we have the first light installed. Now we're going to install the second light. But what I want to make sure is that my lights are even on both sides of this bed, okay? So if I look right here, you'll see that there's a bolt hole. This is for the bed cargo management rail. My truck doesn't happen to have it, okay? But even if you do have the bed management rail, you'll have a bolt right here. I'm going to run my second light right above this bolt. And this way here, I know the lights are going to be even on both sides of the bed, okay? So let's go do that, and we'll get this all wired up.
Okay, so we have the first light secured. The second light I'm going to want to put right above this pole, this hole. Alrighty, there's the bolt. There's the space where I want to put it. I'm going to take my light. Once that's dried, I'm going to take my light. I'm going to peel off the backing tape. And I'm going to place it right in front of that grommet. Right there. I'm going to hold it up there for a few minutes so the tape sticks. And these are going to be wire tied to these grommets here. Perfect place to hold the wire out of the way. Let me show you how I secure this wire. As you can see right here is the piece that holds the top bed rail on. I'm going to stick a wire tie right through there. I'm going to take that wire tie, okay? I'm going to run my wire through it. And then I'm just going to zip it up, keeping the wire on the side of that to keep it high. And that's it. Final product right there. Wires are all nice and secure. And then what I'm going to do is just clip this off. And now the lights are all in place. I'll show you all the lights. And we go across. Here's my fourth one. We follow it around. It tucked in under the rail. You can see I tied the wires up. There's my fifth one. And we come all the way down the end. And there's the sixth one. Every one of them's nice and tied.
So now all our bed lights are attached. So all we have to do now is add 2 female connectors to these wires, and then we can hook it up to our switch. And then we're all done. So let me show you how that's done. So all we're going to need is 2 of these. These are two female spade connectors. These are what fit on your switch. Okay, this is what connects the wire to the switch. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get the wire. Now I happen to know that if you look at the wire, you'll see, hopefully you can see it, on this side there's white hash marks, and on this side it's solid black. You would assume the white hash marks were the positive, but unfortunately it's the other way around. The white hash marks are the negative. So we're going to get our wire and we're going to split the wire. And then we're going to strip the insulation off about 1/4 of an inch. I always like to twist it. And we got the appropriate size butt connector, and that's going to fit in there, twisting it while we go in. And then what we're going to do is we're going to crimp it. And that's perfect. And then we're going to do the other one. We're going to twist the wire, appropriate size butt connector, put that on while I'm twisting it so it goes in well. And then I'm going to crimp it. And she's on there good. So now we have our two connectors. So let's feed them down to the switch panel. If you're not using a switch panel, you would connect the negative on the top. You would connect the negative on the top, the one going to the light in the middle, and then your positive on the bottom, okay? But we're going to use the switch panel, so let's run this wire through the bed and get it to the switch panel.
As we spoke of before, that is the hole we're going to use. So what we're going to do is we're going to feed the wire through that hole, and it's going to fall all the way down. And it's going to come out right above the switch panel. And what we want to make sure is that we want to make sure that our protective harness, so as you can see, our protective harness is going to protect the wire as it comes down and out. And that's going to protect it from cutting into the wire, okay? So let's finish wiring her up and we're done. Now as you can see, the wire has come out perfectly right here, okay? Right to the panel.
Okay, so this is the switch panel that we made on the prior video. And this is going to be the light switch. Here's the switch. We got the positive on the bottom. We got the negative on the top. You got the positive on the bottom, negative on the top. Is going to go in the positive from the lights are going to go in the middle. So that is going to go right there. Okay? So now we got to hook up the negative. But I really have no place to hook up the negative. So I'm going to show you a cool little device from the boating world. It's going to make it so easy. Okay, take a look at that. This is a female with two males, okay? So it's a female butt connector with two male ends. And if you take a close-up look at it, you can see that the female here and then two male ends. So what is this used for? Let me show you. We're going to grab your switch and you're going to remove the negative from the switch. You're going to take this single female to double male. You're going to place this on here. Okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to put your original ground back on the switch. So it looks like so. And you're going to get your new ground from the lights and you're going to place that right there. And now you have two grounds coming off the ground for the switch, and you don't have to do any splicing. And if you want to take the panel off, all you got to do is unplug it, and you're good. I'll have the link to this. I'll have the link to this in the description below. Very cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the ground off. We took the ground off the switch. We're going to place this splicer. We're going to put the bed light ground on this. And then we're going to put the feeder ground on that. And now you have two grounds, and it's very simple. And whenever you want to take this panel off, you just have to unplug these two wires. Okay? Let's put the panel back on. Let's see if it works. Flick the switch, and there they are. Now let's take a look at it with the tonneau cover closed. Let's turn them off and close this tonneau cover. Okay, let's see what it looks like with the tonneau cover on. Here's the switch. Now I gotta tell you, I think it looks pretty damn cool. Let's turn it off. Okay, one more. Here's the switch. And off she goes. Oh, and one more thing. The power here only stays on for an hour and a half. It only stays on for 90 minutes, okay? So if you're out here and you're using the lights and you're tailgating or doing whatever you do and the lights go out, it's because the truck will only leave power to this circuit for 90 minutes. So all you have to do is turn the key on and then turn the key back off, and you have another 90 minutes. If you're powering something that's using a lot of voltage and the voltage drops down to, say, 11.5, 11.7 volts, then the truck will shut this off and won't turn it back on, because that's the way the truck protects its battery, okay? So if you're out at night camping or whatever and your lights turn off, don't worry about it. Just turn the key on and turn the key back off, okay? Hey, so I think that was pretty easy. Basically only one wire that you need to hook up. You don't have to go under the car. If you don't have the tonneau cover, you can buy some wire holders, put on the cab side of the bed to have it hold your wires for you. And you have some nice lights. All the stuff I used will be in the description box below if you're interested. And we're going to finish this video with what it looks like at night. All right? But I'll be back in 8 hours to do that. Thanks for spending the time with me. This is Fred from Fred's Garage. If you have any questions or anything, place them in the comments. And if you have time, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification button, and you guys have a great day. All right, so I was waiting for it to get dark to see how the lights work out. Let's take a look. It's pretty dark in there right now. There you go. I think it looks pretty good. Let's see what it looks like with the tonneau cover off. Let's see what it looks like with the tonneau cover off. I think it looks pretty good. You guys did a great job. Keep up the good work. Take care.